Breaking Bread. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a special edition. And before I go into the topic, I want to express that, first of all, this is just a point of view. Second, I am a believer in the teachings of the Bible. Yet, I'm not in agreement with all analysis that has been presented to us by so-called clergymen, preachers, reverends, deacons, so forth and so on. You know, when you have a personal relationship with the Most High may reveal things to you that hasn't been revealed to others, and vice versa. In saying that, the topic of today will be controversial, and that is Jesus the Son of God? Now, my answer to that is yes and yes. And my answer is to that is also yes and no. Now, let's deal with the first yes and no. I would say yes on account of a particular perspective that I have of this terminology that's being used, Son of God. And that terminology, son, I'm not looking at it as S-O-N. I'm looking at it as S-U-N. And I'll expound on that a little later. So I say no on account that is Jesus a little boy, like a father and a son relationship, or interaction like a man and his son on this physical plane. I do not agree with that analysis, even though that throughout the biblical text, we are identified as children of the Most High, children of Israel, sons and daughters of the Most High. But I think that terminology and that language was used to show a relationship that we as spiritual beings having this human experience have with the omnipresent spirit of the great I am, the divine conscious, the supreme consciousness of our reality. So now, yes and yes. Yes and yes again. Yes, the Son of God is an S-U-N, like light of God. And I came to that conclusion years ago when I was studying, and I was actually baffled by terminologies used in the New Testament about Yahshua, Jesus, Jesus, Isu, Isa, Isu. And that is that he was identified as the Son of God and the Son of Man. So my mind in this state at that time, over 20 years ago, I was saying, how could he be the Son of God and the Son of Man? So I made an analysis of it. For surely, from a biological perspective, that Jesus, Yahshua, Isa, Isus wasn't the son of a man. Some people, Joseph was a figure. The Immaculate Conception saying that this particular being that came to this realm was placed in the womb of Mary, and no man had touched her. The virgin birth. I think they speak about it in the book of Isaiah, chapter 9. And they called him the wonderful counselor. They called him a lot of things in that chapter, whereas though, people are in disagreement with, especially people from other systems that are in opposition of what is identified as Christianity, yet I call it the way, So I will expound on how did I come to this conclusion. So I know that we have been identified children, sons, daughters of the Most High. And again, to make this make sense, if Jesus is the Son of God and the Son of Most High, S-O-N doesn't make that mathematical equation acceptable. But S-U-N, like sun, as in light of God, makes it highly acceptable. Because just as he can be the light of God unto men, he can be the light of men unto God. And that's a reflection thing. And that makes sense to me mathematically. That's just my point of view from the conclusion that I have come to from reasoning and studying and researching, and had something to settle in my heart. So moving on to another controversial perspective in this whole scenario, that if you don't believe Jesus is the Son of God, do you believe that the Spirit God, physical God, and mind God is one, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and saying that Jesus is God? Well, I would say this. I do not think Jesus was God as in a physical man, because the teachings teach that flesh and blood should not enter into the gates of heaven or the kingdom of heaven, to the higher realm of frequencies. And then, of course, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Some teachers teach that we have left our original state, or the oneness with the Most High, and came to this plane for development. And we have drunk from the cup of forgetfulness. And now we're making our way back to the oneness of the Most High. And that's why the teachers teach us not to steal, not to lie, not to do these type of things. These things are fashioning our inner man or our inner being. So Jesus being the Son of God, S-O-N and S-U-N. That is a very interesting viewpoint, and I'm bringing that to you so you can make your own analysis. And I'm just bringing this information from my perspective. And going back to what I was just speaking on about Jesus being God. And as I said, I don't think that he physically, but spiritually, the energy that was in the temple of that Ark of the Covenant. What is the Ark of the Covenant? Old Testament teach about a vessel that was used in the time of Israel when they went out to war, and they had it in the temple, and the spirit or the Shekinah of the Most High was upon that vessel, and that was, the spirit of the Most High. I think that Jesus became the living, walking, animated operation of the Ark of the Covenant, with the divine presence of the Most High within the temple, where we know that the fullness of the Most High cannot come to this plane, because this is error, corruption. This is a plane that the fullness will actually destroy if it manifested here. So we must acknowledge that what came in the temple of Jesus, and let me expound on that. The teachers teach, ye are the temples of the Most High, not the mosque, physical building, not the church, not the synagogue or the temples. Those are not the temples, per se, of the living God. Those are where the spirit or the temples of men go into conjugate and learn about the Most High. But we as spiritual beings having this human experience in these physical vessels, we are the walking, talking temples of the Most High. It is Christ in you. That's the hope of glory, what the teachers teach. What that is saying, because a lot of people stumble over Christ. It is saying that it is God in you that is the hope of glory. People say, oh, how you going to say that? That's what the teachers say. And it only makes sense. It's a reflection thing, because Yahshua, Jesus himself, said, I can do nothing but what I see the Father do. And it said that don't take it, that he had became a perfect reflection of the Most High. I believe that it's in Timothy 3:16 that you said that it speaks on that, that God manifested in the flesh. The thing is that people stumble because they think that it's the fullness, the entirety of the Most High. One of these vessels, these fleshly vessels could not handle the complete capacity of the Most High. It was enough of the Most High in a concentrated, unadulterated, what was the word I'm looking for? Undefiled way that was in the temple of Yahshua, which reflected the Most High. So it was just like the Most High was here, walking around men, doing everything. If everything that Jesus did, the Most High in his fullness wouldn't have done it any different, because Jesus was obedient unto death. The death of the physical man, because the spirit man never died. You know about those teachers that said he descended down into the lower realms, and talked to the captives, so forth and so on. Then he was seen, he risen. Some people say, man, that, he never died. Judas Issachar, this is a teacher from Islam, that he was transfigured to look like the Messiah. Well, if this be so, the metaphor or the symbolism of the resurrection is to no avail. Paul said if it wasn't no resurrection, the faith is in vain. Of course it was a resurrection, because it was showing us that we have an opportunity to live not once, but twice. This is a temporal life until we go into the fullness of the next life, our true life. Other teachings have different perspectives, and that's cool. One must go and beyond their own oak tree and accept the teachings according to their ability to receive it. Some of the teachings from Judaism, Buddhism, Jainism, Taoism, Islam, there's some good information in all those teachings that I have examined. But the thing is that those doctrines in fullity does not fill me. And so I go with the teachings of the way. Helios Biblos. What did that mean? That is Greek for Helios, sun. Biblos, book. The sun book for the children of the sun. Or the light book for the children of the light. So again, that's emphasizing knowing that Jesus came as the light of God and the light of man, which made him the Son of God and the Son of man. At the end of the day, this is just some information according to my understanding. Do your own research, come to your own conclusion. I'm going to tell you, you can listen to the preachers, the imams, the elders, the priests, all of that. But do your own research. Question them. Because men make mistakes. Men have been indoctrinated. Men have participated in paths that have been forged in error. Let me say that again. Men participate in paths that were forged in error. And to deny the fullness of the Most High manifested on this plane, to me, that is error. No greater thing that a man can do is to lay down his life for his brother. And this is what the Messiah, the Mashiach, said that he has done. He laid it down. He laid down his physical life so we can live spiritually. And this is God's plan, according to the teachings of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you this message in love. I leave you this message in peace. Once again, is Jesus the Son of God, as in a little boy? I'm not in agreement with that. But is Jesus the Son of God, as in the S-U-N, Son of God, like the light of God? I am in full comprehension of that. And let all errors that I may have spoken this evening be upon me, and all the truth be upon the Most High. Peace. Praise him to raise him. Yahweh Sabaoth. Elohim El Shaddai of Abraham.